my name is Penny Poteet, Director of Edmonson County Adult Education. Today my classroom consists of a group of students that are pursuing their GED or in a high-level math class. And the subject of our class today is going to be find an area of different geometric shapes. And to review our class a little bit and bring them back up to speed of where we left off, by raising your hand, tell me, what does perimeter mean? Yes, Crystal? The outside of something. So if we're measuring something in feet, we measure all the sides of it to get perimeter. Okay, perimeter means outside. Does anybody remember what area means?
Inside.
Good. So I have prizes for both of y'all today. It's just like the Price is Right. When you answer something right, you get a gift. Okay. So area means the inside. Now, it depends on what the shape is, what kind of formula we use for it. If it's a rectangle or a square, we just measure length times width. And a perfect square, you know, it's got the same measurement on all sides. So the first thing we're going to do today is talk about irregular figures. You know, part of it's missing. Or there's two different geometric shapes we got to figure out. In this first problem, we have a kitchen here. The total width of it is 20 feet. But part of it's cut out. You know, this might be connected to a living room or something like that, but we want to figure just the area of the kitchen. So how would we go about starting this problem? Anybody have any ideas? Crystal?
You would take the 6 feet and times it by the 20.
Okay, 6 feet is the portion here that's gone. Okay? You're right on the 20, because that's the total.
20 by 9.
Okay, let's back up. This side of the rectangle, see that's a rectangle because it's got 15 feet by 20 feet, so it's got two different lengths there. This side's 15, but this side's only 9. So how much is missing?
6.
6. 6, correct. So we got 6 feet missing there. How much is missing on the other side? This side's supposed to be 20, and we only got 7 of it. 13 is correct. So we got 6 feet by 13 feet is missing. So how do we figure area of the missing part?
You would add the 6.
Add 6 and 13.
Not add, but
Multiply.
multiply. Because it's one side times the other. So what's 6 times 13?
78.
Okay. Prize here over there. We got 78 feet is what's missing. So what's the area of the kitchen then? What would you do?
Take 7 away from 78.
Okay, if this was a complete rectangle here, that means this side would be 20, this side would be 15. So we take the 20 times the 15 to get the whole, if the whole thing was there. So what's 20 times 15?
300.
Okay, 300. And then we take out the missing part, which is what?
78.
And then we've got the area of the kitchen. That's very important. Because say this was the floor tile we were going to buy. We'd have to know how many square feet was in this kitchen floor before we could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy the materials. And that's what we're going to do as an activity here in just a few minutes, is figure out how many floor tile it will take. One group of you is going to do that, and another group of you is going to figure out the area of the walls and figure out how much paint to buy. Well, that's real life situations. If you don't know these things and you just guess at it and go to Lowe's, and you might wind up going to Lowe's 6 or 7 times to get materials and burning out $100 worth of gas, and you could have done it the first time. Or you can do like my mother does with her wallpaper. She got a roll or two at a time, and a roll or two at a time, and by the time she used all that up, her wallpaper became discontinued And now her living room is missing wallpaper about this far, and it's very tacky. So, that's what happens when you can't figure area. All this is life situations you use every day. Okay, so we're gonna go to this example right here of a floor tile. Just like similar to this one, except this one's just 4 inches. This one's a foot. So how in the world will we go about figuring out the area of a floor tile if it's 4 inches on each side? Any volunteers?
You don't know how big the area is that you're going to count.
Okay, we're just figuring the floor tile right now, and I'm telling you it's 4 inches on each side. A hint, we've been normally dealing with feet, but now we're dealing with inches.
You do 4 times 4 and you get 8 inches.
Or, okay, how many inches are in a foot?
12.
Okay, so that's the same thing as saying I got 4 inches out of 12 inches, right?
We can make a fraction 4 over 12.
Very good. Boy, y'all good today. Cooking with Crisco. I'm proud of all of them. Let's see if I can't find a prize here for everybody. Wow. So we got 4
Over 12.
over 12 times what? It's the same on each side.
4 over 12.
Okay. Will that reduce?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you dividing into each other to cancel out?
3.
Okay, we got 4s and 12s, so what's going into each other to cancel out?
4.
4 and 12.
Okay, how many times will 4 go in itself?
1.
And how many times will go in 12?
3.
Same thing here. 1, 3. So now when we multiply, we got 1 over 9. Everybody see how I got that?
Yeah.
1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that floor tile is 1 over 9 in a fraction. Okay, I got a countertop over here that is 6 feet by 2 feet. Now we're dealing with feet. Okay? How do you get area of a countertop that is 6 foot by 2 foot? That's just a rectangle. 6 foot, 6 foot,
Well,
2
that
foot.
length times width.
Length times width. This can be length, width. Okay? What's 6 times 2?
12.
We got 12 feet. But we're dealing with inches. So how in the world are we going to divide that into 12 feet? Anybody got any ideas? How do you divide fractions?
Make it 12 over 1.
Very good, Brad. And then what we're going to do with that 12 over 1?
Times it by 12 over 1.
We're dealing with the floor tile. Okay, we're going to divide it.
By 1
But what's special about division of fractions? What do you got to do to it?
half. And then flip flop. 1/9.
Flip-flop the 1/9 and change this to what? Multiply. So we got 12 over 1 times 9 over 1. So what's 12 times 9?
108.
108 over 1, which is the same as what? 108. So that tells me I gotta go buy 108 floor tiles if I'm going to cover this countertop. Good stuff, right? Okay. We got one more example before I start explaining to you what we're gonna do in the activity. We've got here, well, it's basically a perfect square. I told you that right here. So it's 50 foot on this side, it's 50 foot everywhere. But we got a swimming pool in the middle, in the shape of a circle. And we're gonna put some brick pavers around it. So when you're finding an area of 2 different geometric shapes, find the area of the one and take it away from the bigger one. So what's bigger, the square or the circle?
Square.
Okay. So what's area of the whole thing? Okay, it's 50 times,
50 times 50.
okay. A perfect square, we would do 50 squared. which is 50 times 50. The shortcut for doing things with zeros on it, take 5 times 5, it's 25, and stick 2 zeros on it, okay? That's the whole thing. But now we gotta figure out the swimming pool. Can anybody tell me how you figure out area of a circle?
Do radius times radius.
Okay,
3.14.
radius squared times 3.14. Let's see. You done got a pencil. There you go. That was good, so the man deserves a hat today. There you go. So we got 15 squared times 3.14. What does that come out to be?
706.5, which was around it for 707.
Okay. So the circle's taking up 707 square feet. So if we subtract 707 from the total, the whole thing, we'll get the brick pavers. Everybody follow me on that? What would that be?
156,575.
Okay.
Oh,
2,500.
okay.
1,793.
1,793
Yeah.
pavers. Now, if we had time today, I could make you up a sample problem of how big the brick pavers are. And you divide that into that, just like we did over here with the tile, to figure out how many pavers you're gonna buy. So right now, I'm gonna ask Marilyn to help me out. Pass out one of each to everybody, and I'm gonna kinda go over what we're gonna do in this activity. I'm gonna divide you up in 2 groups. One group is gonna figure out the area of the walls in this classroom. And then you're gonna go to the internet and go shopping at 2 retailers, either Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you like to shop, and find some paint. But it has to be 2 identical brands. For example, Olympic and Olympic. You couldn't do Olympic and Valspar. You got 2 different prices, okay? And figure out how many gallons of paint it's going to take to paint this room. And then you'll find you also have to add a 6% sales tax on it. So we're going to bring back how to calculate percents from your memory. You got to dig into that old file and bring that out. The other group is going to figure out floor tile. We've done an example on how to do that. It's up to you what kind of floor tile you get, the size of it, but it's got to be, again, 2 identical brands. You're going to figure out how many floor tiles it's going to take and the total cost. So, since we got a person missing today in class, we're going to have Brad and Crystal do the floor tile. And Robert and Bobby Sue, you're going to figure the walls. And I'm going to hand out some tape measures to each group. See what I do with the other. Oh, okay. Snaky pit work. That was one of the other group. But what I want to go over with you before we divide up and start doing this is how you're going to be graded on this assignment. I've already explained to you the activity itself. You'll find that where it says Appendix A, Activity Questions and Assignment. But down there at the bottom it says both groups have to write an explanation of the rationales and steps of the solution process. I'm going to give you a piece of easel paper. And you can either draw, and if you can't draw very well, we happen to have an artist in the room. You can tell her, I want a nice, lovely square, perfect square, and I guarantee you she can do it for you. She'll help out both groups today. And tell me, exactly what you're doing in each step. For example, you might say because, therefore, in order to find the total, to help me find. Those are key words that you can write in a solution process. And I'm going to be grading you on a rubric. If you look at page 11, entitled Appendix B, Rubric for Learning Activity Area, you'll be graded on a scale from 4 to 0. And you can read there what it takes when you get in your group to get a 4. But in order to master this activity, you must get a grade of at least 2. Or I will have your group go back and do it again until you can get 2 or above. Okay? We're going to break up into groups now. And at the end of this activity, I have a survey in there I would like for you to please complete for me to help me in the future make this activity better. So please, if you have any suggestions, do so. Okay. We'll give each group a piece of paper. We've got markers here. You can assign somebody in your group to the measuring, and somebody can write down things, however you want to do it. I'm leaving it up to you. This is your activity. For the group that's doing the paint, we have to do some research on the internet. It should tell you how much square footage a gallon of paint covers. I brought this one for example, and this one says on there it covers 75 square feet. So 1 gallon, 75 square feet, that'll give you a hint on how to figure how many gallons. Okay, everybody, we'll get started working on our activity. Okay. You also have in your packet a homework sheet that's got the rest of the problems on it that we talked about today. That's the second part of your assessment. Complete that as homework, and you've got to the end of the week to do it. And you have to master at least 80% in order to go on. If you don't, I'll have you go back and redo the problems to get them right, to get at least 80%. Okay? Does anybody want to start measuring the room and figuring out that kind of thing? Because you're going to have measurements before. Yeah, you were
They were
paint.
paint.
So you'll need to measure walls, you'll need to measure floors. I'm just going to get out of the way. And keep in mind, just like we did in this problem with the kitchen, when you come to like a bathroom or a place where, you know, the wall goes out, you're going to have to take out that area of the room. Floor people would have to do that. Wall people, every time y'all come to a door or a place, you know, where you wouldn't paint, you're going to have to take out that area. I'll give you that much as a hint.